In this video, we're going to be breaking down the sprint mechanics of an athlete that's coming up the Pee Wee level ranks or the travel ranks, depending on where you are in the world. This athlete is not in middle school yet, but this is a great video. I felt like that was a great teaching point, but also great for athletes around the world who may be looking to get into speed training or maybe looking into the mechanical things that you can do at home in order to make you a better sprinter and a better athlete. If that sounds like that's something that you would be interested in or you want to learn more about, then hit like and subscribe and follow this video for more. Whenever we have great days, I like whenever we have great days with young sprinters, and I like to be able to teach the world what I'm seeing as I go and review the film myself. Whenever we're in a speed training session, one thing that I always like to do is record when I can, because one, it gives feedback to the athlete, but it also helps some athletes see it better. And when they can see what they're doing wrong or see what the mistakes are or see what you're seeing as a coach, then it makes the learning curve time a little quicker instead of having to spend a lot of time trying to just verbally say the things without them being able to visually see it as well. And so depending on your athlete's learning style, this can be great for you or it can be harmful to you. I usually like to take good reps and bad reps and let the athlete see one of each, so that way that he or she can see like what I'm seeing and then clean it up, or see like this is the pattern that's failing you and what that feels like and see what that looks like visually. And so again, these are reasons that I like to record. So if you're a trainer out there or an athlete and this stuff that you're trying to work on and trying to perfect, then recording is a great way to go. So let's jump right into the video. Firstly, I'm gonna show y'all this video full speed, and then we're gonna go, of course, and I'm gonna go half speed, but this is a full speed clip. There's a couple things we can work on, but overall a lot that I like. And so I'm gonna start it back over here before it loops itself again. Coming out of the blocks or coming from the start, we were going 30 yards here today. Usually if we're going acceleration day, I'm not running above 30 yards personally. I usually keep it between 20 and 30 because that's a normal acceleration distance. And so we have to be realistic with the athlete. Most athletes are going to be able to keep the shin angles, as they say, pushing back into the ground somewhere between 5, 7, 10 steps, depending on who you're working with. And that's just going, I'm gonna say average kid is probably gonna be 2 to 3 steps. A good accelerator is gonna be, I'm gonna say 3 to 5 steps, and a great accelerator anywhere from 5+ steps is gonna be elite level. And so those are things I just look at on the front end, but that's why I keep that distance so short. So coming out here, and I think it's pretty noticeable to see from my end. In the comments, let me know if it's not that noticeable, but on my end I can see it. So coming out, we have great shin angles and we have great push back into the ground. We got the knees up, and so we're driving. Good propulsion of ourselves in about 4.5 steps. And then we got right over and start turning over into our top end speed or getting up to our top end speed. The younger the athlete, the faster they're going to get the top end speed, just because one, of their body structure, and then two, just the ability of running. And so top end speed, don't worry about that until they get older, and then you want to make that acceleration a little longer so that we don't reach our top end or peak top end speed so fast. The best example I've seen of this is from Coach Beckham. We were talking a couple weeks ago, and he was telling me about speed training, and we were talking about speed, of course, as normal. And the great example that he gave was the longer the athlete can stay into, and this is not verbatim what he said, but the longer the athlete can stay in acceleration, the faster that athlete will appear on paper, because they don't reach their peak velocity until later. Once you reach your peak velocity, it doesn't matter how fast you are. There's only so long you can hold top end speed, so naturally you're going to decline. So let's say an athlete runs and hits their peak velocity at 30 yards. Well, at 35 and 40 yards and so on, I can expect to see a decline in that athlete's timing or their split times, just due to them reaching that top end speed so quickly. That's why acceleration training is very important. And so getting back to it, we had a good acceleration within the first 10 yards. And then We did good here. Now, with this athlete, is two things I'm looking at. One, I'm looking at how many steps he's taken between each set of cones. So each set of cones I got set up is at 10 yards. One more positive is that we're gaining a lot of ground, and so we're getting a lot of kick throughout each step, and we're eating up about the same amount of ground from right leg to left leg. So I want you to see where his head and his arms are, and just take a look. This right here, when he gets closer, is perfect. So with that, one of the things that's hard to teach athletes is how to relax through a sprint. It sounds crazy, but the more relaxed an athlete is, the faster that sprint's going to be. And so when I say relax, I'm not talking about like completely so relaxed that the muscles are flaccid, but have some rigidity, but allow the body to relax, and then that's when you get better results. You get the best results. The same thing like in baseball. If any of you play baseball, like if you throw a ball and you tense up on it, you're not going to hit your max speed. But when you kind of relax and go through your motion and let the body freely move, you get a whole lot better results. You get much better results. My bad. That's that southern twang coming out. So that's one thing. We're not relaxed through the strides or through the back end of this sprint. Also, a quick fix, and we talked about this whenever that day with the athlete. It's just pulling that head down, head and chin down, and allowing the spine and everything like right there. You can kind of see it, but even when you're tired, allowing that spine and the head and chin to relax, allowing the jaw to relax. This is also going to affect your mechanics as far as like your arm swing up top. And so we just want to keep that relaxed as well. Outside of that, everything else is good. Like if I slow this down, I give you a point. Like what I have right now, I need to upgrade my technology so y'all can see it, so I can do some live drawing. But if you see his heels, he is not going flat footed into the ground. So this is something that you see with fast athletes or elite level athletes. They're able to hit the ground and have strong ankles and feet, and you can see like through each step, you don't see a lot of ankle drag, so you don't see that foot drooping and falling as you see with older athletes as he's sprinting. And I think sometimes that just comes from being doing a lot of weightlifting and being dominant in the weight room, and then you're so dominant there that your feet and ankles can't keep up. They don't keep up with how strong you're getting. And I'm going to show y'all another drill that he did. Let me show y'all one more. And this is going to show you why I say like his feet and ankles are strong, because this kid is like for a 9-year-old, he's pretty advanced. So this drill right here is one that I did with him. We did this I think this was like our second day working together. But even when you see him doing the marches, you can see him not pulling, not overstriding. We're falling on our heels a little bit, but you don't see a lot of rotation in his ankles. And so he does that very, very well. I rewind that. But there's not a lot of rotation. You can see, look at that. That's stuff that I taught one time. If you want to know if an athlete's going to be good or elite, think about how many times you have to tell them the same instructions and how quickly they pick up on it. All right, here we go. This is not the cleanest, but that's not easy either. So let's go back. Now, to be able to hold your weight on one foot while skipping and switch feet, and his heel is down off the ground to keep him moving forward, it's not easy. Now, he fell a little bit there. We got a little bit weaker there. We got real flat at the end. But this drill is not easy. And he's doing this at a very young age. Very, very young age. So he's one of our faster kids right now. He's probably for his age group, he's very fast. But he's got a high ceiling because we haven't even reached, we haven't scratched the surface yet. And so his ceiling is very high. Once we get a lot more coordination and things like that, those things are going to come. So with athletes like that, a couple of things I'm looking at with younger athletes. I'm looking at how much can we improve acceleration, improve acceleration technique, and then turnover. If you improve those things at a younger age, those are going to be your building blocks of things later that are going to make the athlete so much better as they get older. Because the older you get, as they get into the weight room and things like that, then your top end speed and speed, strength, and things like that can get improved a lot more because they're up under a bar. You can do that too when they're younger. Nothing really changes with younger athletes except the intensity of training. Of course, with volume as well. With older athletes, you're able to put more volume and more intensity on them just because they're older and their bodies can accommodate more. But with younger athletes, it's just technique, 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 technique. Like a lot of stuff we did with the PVC pipes, a lot of things we do with the I love the parachutes for younger athletes because it's not aggressively heavy, but we can add some resistance without getting too aggressive on the structure of the body. And so we want to just continue those building blocks and continue to keep it simple and continue to keep it advantageous for the athlete. Of course, as a football player, we want to build a lot of reactive strength, work a lot of things through full range of motion because that's going to help him as he gets older, of course, again, be a better athlete overall in every sport. And so as we work that and work those full ranges of motion and things like that, naturally our mobility is going to come up. Naturally, we're going to be better overall athletes as far as resiliency goes as well. And so if we get all those physical traits going and then get the mental side of things going as well, then the sky's the limit. And like I said, if you want to know if an athlete is good or elite or good or great, just how many times do I had to give that athlete an instruction and how many times do we have to go over the same thing. And so I hope that you took the pointers in this video and that it was very educational to you if you're a player, athlete, coach, trainer, family member, whatever. I hope this video is very helpful to you. If you like what we do, like the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and as always, be legendary.